Howdy, this is Michael Good of reapertrades.com with a fairly brief trade recap for today, the 22nd of December, and then I'll follow that with a sort of in-depth discussion about what you know, what you don't know when trading stocks. Now, here's a chart, a 3-day chart of AMFI, Amcor Financial, and this stock has just been beaten down to the dust over the last month and a half, and it gained 100% over the last 2 days. So this was Friday. It went up from 70 cents to about 105. Then it hit a high of almost 190 on Monday, dropped back down to around 160, and then today it's faded about 15%. So I shorted at Sogo Elite. They had shares. I got in on the morning panic. Got in a little late at 155, out at 144. So I didn't play that great. I only had 1,000 shares. So, interesting thing about Amcor Financial is that it's up a whole bunch, and the reason is news that they sort of refinanced this debt they had outstanding, and that's good news. Before I go into more detail, why don't I just bring up the longer term chart here. Okay. So you see, it was about this price back in October. Then it had a death drop in November, and now it's back up there. So people would say, okay, but they had good news, Michael. Why would you want to short that? Well, first off, if you have a debt restructuring, it's usually delaying the inevitable. And it was pretty punitive, actually. I mean, they had to prepay their interest for the next year, and this was with one of the major banks. Now, another thing about Amcor Financial, that I just found out about today after the market started and after I'd closed my position, is they have some other issues going on. And the only reason I found out about this is because I may be involved in a class action lawsuit against them. Why? Because my health savings account and the health savings accounts of many other people were held in trust at Amcor Financial. And then, evidently, Jeremy Blackburn, the CEO of, was he CEO or president of Canopy Financial, which is a financial transaction software company, evidently stole a whole bunch of money from all sorts of accounts held at Canopy and that were held at institutions using their products. So, my $8,500 HSA is frozen at the moment, and it looks like Amcor Financial may be on the hook for that. That's the kind of thing, that kind of litigation is the kind of thing that can destroy a company. And I mean, Amcor Financial, you look at their balance sheet, you look at their stock price, they are not doing well, even outside of that. So that's not very good. And the thing is, a lot of people, they're like, oh, I'm a new stock trader. I can look at balance sheets. I can look at earnings reports. I can understand things. Can you really? A lot of what we see, a lot of the moves in the stock markets are not based on publicly available information, or at least not easily publicly available information. And even when it is, the big guys, they get the information first. So a rumor comes out, all the guys at the big trading firms, at the big banks, at the big hedge funds, they'll know what's going on before you, before I. So if you try to trade off that, you'll lose. If you try to trade based off fundamental knowledge, you may miss something really important, like this bankruptcy information. So, I mean, here's the letter I got from the HSA company. And you can pause and look at it if you want. But the thing is, there's all sorts of information out there that you can easily miss, even if you know what to look for. So that's why I like to play things based on price action, because that tells me what other people are doing. And why I always play with tight stops. If I'm wrong about a trade, I get out, and I don't risk continuing to be wrong. So that's it. Hopefully that teaches you a lesson. Otherwise, good luck. Check me out next time, reapertrades.com.